At 21, Miss Emma Erwin challenged herself to walk 2,650 miles along the Pacific Crest Trail by herself.
But across the board, the majority of people doing trails like that are kind of like scruffy bearded men. And so being like a young blonde woman was pretty rare. I think it definitely made the experience different for me than it would for someone of a different gender or of a different age.
For Miss Erwin, the trail wasn't just a physical challenge. It was a journey to overcome the emotional trauma of being sexually assaulted.
But I think for me, I was trying to prove that like my body was mine again. And I think like that came from the experiences that happened before in college. And I think that I wanted to prove that like I was in charge of what happened to my body. Like I was in charge of like how far I could push my body. I was in charge of like how much it hurt. And like I was in charge of where I was going and what I was doing, because I think a lot of that control gets lost when you undergo a traumatic experience.
It took Miss Erwin 102 days to hike from the border of Mexico to the border of Canada, nearly 3.5 months to sort out her conflicting emotions.
And so rather than having it be like some isolated person who I had no history with, that would be terrible. But it was also this like very, very heartbreaking situation where I lost someone very close to me in my life because they did something terrible to me. And so that compounded the trust issues and compounded like the difficulty in recovering, because I was worried about him too, which is weird. You don't think about that. You don't think about worrying about your assaulter. But that was like a huge part of my process as well.
As Miss Erwin pushed her body and mind to the brink of exhaustion, she also completed her journey from victim to survivor.
I think in my process, in the aftermath of what happened to me, I think like a big, huge part of it was hiking the PCT by myself. Like clear to me and clear to those around me who are close to me in my life. That was kind of a major shift. When I'm subtracting and I have like denominators, I keep...
Miss Erwin now teaches at Konawaena High School and hopes her experience can help others struggling with abuse.
It's like terrible that it's like this one act can like cause this huge trauma for not just the victim but the aggressor as well. And unfortunately, like the statistic is more often than not when something like sexual assault happens, it's not uncommon that it's someone that you know or that you believe cares about you.
Miss Erwin says the road to recovery does not require a cross-country trail. Just being open and honest is a great first step.
Having people like openly declare like, yes, this factually happened to me, and yes, it was this person's fault, not mine, can be really helpful for other people who have experienced similar situations.
Miss Erwin's lessons are going beyond the classroom by sharing what it is like to walk in someone else's shoes. This is Kaimana Manzano from Konawaena High School for HIKI.